On the 20th of August 1989, both Lyle and Eric Menendez killed their parents, and their story became the plot of Monsters on Netflix. But why did the Menendez brothers commit murder? Why is the case now circulating in the media again and has been reopened? Has the court reached a verdict? Let's find out. In the 1990s, a case shocked the entire American nation. Two brothers murdered their own parents in the most gruesome way one can imagine. Menendez brothers Lyle and Eric were the kids of Jose Menendez and Kitty Menendez. Their father was a successful music and film executive, and their mother was a homemaker. The brothers killed both of their parents in their Beverly Hills mansion. The crime's gruesome nature and the new revelations about the family's internal dynamics after the case started were very disturbing for everyone involved. The aftermath, attempting to hide the truth. The brothers initially tried to hide their involvement in this crime. They simply told police that they discovered their parents' dead bodies when they came back from watching Batman. In the following months, both brothers spent a huge sum of money on buying expensive cars, clothes, watches, and properties. The brothers spent a total of approximately $700,000 after their parents' death. Eric purchased a $60,000 Porsche, a $50,000 a year private tennis coach, while Lyle bought a $550,000 cafe in Princeton, New Jersey. This whole thing made the authorities very suspicious about them. However, they weren't caught until Eric made a confession to his therapist, L. Jerome Oziel. The therapist recorded all their sessions, and later the tape landed in the hands of police via Jude Allen Smith, who was Oziel's girlfriend. The brothers were arrested in March 1990 and charged with first-degree murder. The trials: self-defense or cold-blooded murder. During their trials, the brothers admitted to the killings, but claimed it was in self-defense after years of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse by their father and mother. The prosecution, however, made a very different claim. They argued that the murders were motivated by financial gain because the brothers were going to inherit their parents' $14 million estate. After 2 trials, the brothers were convicted of first-degree murder in March 1996 and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The case appeared to be closed, but questions lingered about the claims of abuse and the motivations behind the murders. The abuse allegations. After 35 years, the abuse claims made by the Menendez brothers are being taken seriously. During their trial, the Menendez brothers shared disturbing details about the abuse they had gone through. At that time, the prosecution dismissed all those claims, but now that everything is resurfacing, let's take a deep dive into what details were shared by the Menendez brothers and their family with the court. Lyle, the older brother, testified that his father started sexually abusing him when he was only 6 years old, but it stopped when he turned 8. Unfortunately for the younger brother, Eric, it never stopped. He put up with all that for years, but when he turned 18, he realized that he couldn't take it anymore, so just a few days before the murder, he confided in his older brother, Lyle, then confronted the parents about it. Following Lyle's confrontation with the parents, things became quite tense at their house. The Menendez brothers assert that following the incident, they were certain their parents would murder them in order to protect the family secret. However, before the parents could do anything, the Menendez brothers decided to take matters into their own hands, and on the 20th of August 1989, they entered their family lounge with loaded guns and fired at their parents until their faces became unrecognizable. Their only intention that day was to set themselves free from all those years of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Many of the friends and family also testified in the defense of the brothers. One of their cousins, Alan Anderson, said that growing up, Jose Menendez would take long showers with Lyle and Eric, and that Kitty Menendez wouldn't let him go near the hallway. He also claimed that he heard weird noises when all of this would happen. Their other cousin, Diane van der Molen, also testified for the brothers, stating that when she was a teenager, the 8-year-old Lyle confided in her and told her that his father was molesting him. She informed their mother, Kitty, about the situation, but never found out if any actions were taken. The medical records of Eric Menendez also indicated oral rape. Eric was once taken to hospital with various throat injuries, and the cause was unknown. A doctor, however, testified in the court that the throat injuries could be the result of oral copulation. Unfortunately for the Menendez brothers, the abuse was not only limited to sexual and emotional torture. Eric testified during a trial that his father would poke him with sharp objects while sexually abusing him. He also claimed that sometimes his father would ask him to lie down in bed and would make small cuts on his thighs with a kitchen knife. That resulted in a permanent scar on his thigh. More family members came out in support of the brothers. During the early trials, Anderson Cano, a cousin and close friend of Eric and Lyle, also testified that when he was 12 years old, Eric asked him if it was typical for fathers to massage their sons. When asked where he would get massages, he said that it was his genitalia. Their neighbor, Alicia Hairsays, was another witness who said that one night she was over for dinner at the Menendez house and Jose played the movie Pichote. She said in the movie adults engaged in sexual acts in front of children. Many guests found that very disturbing and made excuses to leave, but Jose, on the other hand, found that incredibly funny. Till now, we have only discussed the abuse caused by their father. But why did the Menendez brothers kill their mother so brutally? Was she innocent and simply got murdered because she was at the scene? Well, unfortunately, that was not the case. In addition to disregarding the mistreatment her young sons were experiencing, Kitty Menendez had also sexually assaulted them. Their protectors truly turned into monsters. A photo album of the naked Menendez brothers was found, which was kept in an envelope by their mother. In addition, she would ask her son Lyle how she looked good while she was topless or improperly attired. She would also give him sponge baths and kiss him in an inappropriate manner. Lyle asked her to stop all this after he turned 13 because it was getting very uncomfortable for him. Kitty didn't take that well, and her behavior toward him in general worsened, which made things harder. Once Lyle got older and started having girlfriends, Kitty tried to sabotage all his relationships. She would call his girlfriends names like slut and bimbo. She also suspected one of Lyle's girlfriends of having AIDS, only because she was a model. So while he was dating her, she stopped Lyle from eating at the table and would give him food on paper plates to eat in the den. The Menendez brothers had to go through all this, and even when all the evidence was presented in court, a new hell was assigned to them. So what has changed now, and why are they relevant again? Re-examining the case. A new perspective. Over 3 decades later, the Menendez brothers' case has resurfaced, thanks in part to documentaries and the Netflix series Monsters that reintroduced their story to a new generation. But why is their case being reconsidered now? The growing awareness and empathy for sexual abuse survivors among the new generation have played an important role in this shift. Many people are now questioning if the brothers' claims of abuse were wrongly dismissed during their trials. Prosecutors at the time argued the abuse allegations were all fake and only made to get sympathy. Even the friends and family were not allowed to give their testimony to the jury, which heavily affected their decision. The evidence provided by prosecutors only made their claim of financial gain more stronger. However, the new evidence and testimonies are making this conclusion doubtful. Now let's talk about what is the new finding in the case and what the future holds for the Menendez brothers. New evidence, glimmer of hope. Last year, the Menendez brothers filed a habeas corpus petition. For those who don't know, habeas corpus is an equitable remedy by which a report can be made to a court alleging the unlawful detention or imprisonment of an individual. The petition was submitted along with some strong evidence, which included a letter from Eric to his cousin Andy Cano in December 1988. This was about 8 months before the murder happened. Andy is the one who testified for his cousins in the court during their trial. He and Eric were very close, and he told him pretty much everything about his situation. The parts of the letters say, "It's still happening, Andy, and it's worse for me now. I can't explain it. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in." Andy unfortunately died in January 2003 at the age of 29. Later, journalist Robert Rand visited his house and found this important evidence in Andy's room. Rand believes that in any case the brothers should have been charged with manslaughter, not first-degree murder. Another significant piece of evidence came from Roy Rosselló, a member of the boy band Menudo, who alleged that Jose Menendez sexually abused him when he was 14. This testimony highlighted a pattern of abusive behavior, lending credibility to the brothers' claims. Other people coming out about this abuse is really making this case strong, because this can be used as a strong proof of Jose's abusive nature. Resentencing hearing. Delayed justice. Since that petition, the reports of them appearing in court had been speculating. However, in October 2024, Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon confirmed that a new court hearing had been scheduled for Lyle and Eric, and finally, on the 25th of November 2024, the Menendez brothers appeared in court virtually for next steps in their resentencing hearing. But unfortunately, the judge has delayed their resentencing until January. The part of reason behind the delay was that the LA County District Attorney who recommended the resentencing was voted out of office in November. The new DA, Nathan Hochman, doesn't seem to be in favor of the Menendez brothers, as he has already transferred 2 deputies who petitioned for the resentencing of the case. A broader conversation. Justice and abuse survivors. The Menendez brothers' case has sparked a broader conversation about the treatment of abuse survivors in the criminal justice system, specifically men. At the time of their trial, claims of sexual abuse were often met with skepticism. Today, there is a greater understanding of the lasting trauma such abuse can cause and how it can impact behavior. People are now more empathetic towards sexual abuse survivors. Many people have come in support of the Menendez brothers and said that they have suffered so much and now they totally deserve freedom, and we can hope that this newfound support helps their case. What do you think? Should the Menendez brothers' sentences be reduced in light of the new evidence, or do their actions warrant life in prison? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe and take care.